has the advantage. They're outscoring opponents by 41.7 points per game this season. That's on pace to be the best mark by any FBS team since 1944 when Army set the record. Scoring, no fluke either. Ohio State ranking 4th in yards per game and 1st in yards allowed, outgaining opponents by better than 325 yards per game. That would be the best mark by any team in the season since at least 1996, and the resume doesn't stop there. In addition to leading the FBS in nearly every statistical category, Ohio State ranks near the top in most advanced metrics as well. The Buckeyes are the top team according to our Football Power Index, while their current playoff chances of 86% are the best in the FBS.
So you bring up the 86% chance over here at the All-State Playoff Predictor. That's what Ohio State, the chances are for them to make the college football playoff right now. If they win today, it goes up to like virtual lock territory at like 95%. But let's have some fun with this, okay? Let's just say we go down to Penn State. Let's just say Penn State wins today. Look at how this sort of shifts the power. 58% chance that Penn State makes the college football playoff. Ohio State's still got a chance, but it falls to 38%. And then we got some decisions to make over here. It's the big game today. Penn State, Ohio State, noon Eastern from Columbus.
There have been some great Ohio State teams. It's the most complete Ohio State team that I can recall.
Every game at Ohio State matters.
We do control what's ahead of us.
The goal that we have, which is Big Ten championship, we have another team standing in our way.
Big Ten championship on the line, playoff implications on the line. Two great teams going at each other.
The return of Chase Young.
He's an elite player.
Athletic freak.
He's special.
He's got a lot of God-given abilities.
He's going to keep coming at you.
Freakishly talented.
I'm truly phenomenal. Believing is optional. The facts speak for themselves.
We believe that the most prepared team is going to win.
Most Big Ten classes are a heavyweight fight. It's all about who can knock the guy out last.
It's probably going to be one of our more physical games of the year.
This is a dogfight. This is kind of like a rivalry game.
They're not going to lay down. We're not going to lay down. Get the fight to the finish.
Looking at the horseshoe there in Columbus, Ohio, where it's been all wins for the Buckeyes. And you know what? It's been all wins on the road as well. And you know what else? None of those wins have been close wins. Ohio State, an absolute wagon. Whoa, don't say that about James Franklin, although that's a tremendous sign. Everyone loves Disney Plus. We're here. Kirk Herbstreit is there. And we are supremely jealous for that disparate location. Kirk Herbstreit joining us from the old stomping grounds in Columbus. And Chase Young, Kirk, back for the Buckeyes. But he's a proven commodity. There's plenty of talent for the secondary as well. Might be sneaking up on casual fan. How do you see that group matching up with Penn State's playmakers, specifically KJ Hamler if he plays?
Well, that's the question. They talked about they expect K.J. Hamler to play, one of the more electrifying players, not just in the Big Ten, maybe the country. Great matchup with the Ohio State secondary. Ohio State will get after the quarterback, not just with Chase Young. The entire defensive line does a very good job. It's important to be able to get pressure because of the way Penn State can create some one-on-one matchups with Hamler. What I've been very impressed with Penn State is how they move him around. It's hard to identify him. They'll motion him. They'll move him left to right. He's by far their best playmaker. Freiermuth, the tight end, also has ability to create some matchups against linebackers and safeties. But to me, Sean Clifford, who's an Ohio native, went to Cincinnati St. X, comes back to his state, very emotional player. I think he has to run the football today. I think they also have to go up-tempo to try to slow the Ohio State defense down. If not, if he's at 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8 against this defense, that would be a disaster for Penn State.
Hamler could flip the field with special teams, too. And Penn State, speaking of Chase Young quickly, they've given up 12 sacks in the last 5 games. All right, so we talked about it with the Bears, specifically with this game. That number opening higher than maybe we expected, not him, but it keeps climbing. So what's one reason in your mind, Kirk, where this might be closer than the spread?
Well, I think, first of all, the reason you're seeing that is the respect that the folks out in the desert have for the way Ohio State just doesn't let up for 60 minutes. They've done that all year long, is they've been consistent. Now, if you're Penn State, you've got to get this going. They've got to get their own pass rush. Give James Franklin a lot of credit. 3 years ago, they beat Ohio State. Last time they came to Columbus, they had the lead, a very solid lead in the 4th quarter. Ohio State came back to win last year, a competitive game. So they've kind of found a way to be competitive, and I would expect this game to be more competitive maybe than what the experts think. The difference is, can Penn State in the second half, when Ohio State has shown an ability to make in-game adjustments better than anybody, can they stay with Ohio State in front of the home crowd when Ohio State has really put the pedal to the metal? It's very tough for anybody typically to stay with them.
It's been tough for James Franklin, gone 1-4 against Ohio State as Penn State's head coach. Worst mark he's had against any team he's faced multiple times. All right, so college football playoff here, and these rankings getting really interesting starting at the 4 spot. Committee has Georgia as the best one-loss team in the country. What is Kirk Herbstreit's best one-loss team in the country right now?
I think you got to give Georgia the nod for right now. I think that the way this thing is setting up potentially is if LSU were to win out, Ohio State were to win out, and Clemson were to win out, you know, Georgia has to play LSU, of course, in the SEC championship game, and they'll get a chance to prove how good they are in that game. I think if they end up losing the game, it opens up the discussion for the Big 12 champ, which could be a one-loss Oklahoma, the Pac-12 champ, which could be a one-loss Utah or Oregon, and Alabama. As we sit here right now, I think that would open the door for the Pac-12, which most people don't even pay attention to. The Pac-12 champ, if they're sitting there with one loss, I think would have the strongest argument to get in there in that 4th and final spot.
Love the overrated chant. We hear it loud and clear. Georgia entering the week with a 39% chance.
Those signs are tremendous.
The signs are great. Nicole's chuckling at the one over your right shoulder.
Get the signs up and show them your creative signs.
Kirk Herbstreit is just a vaunted being in Columbus. Kirk, we appreciate it as always. It's a good one. It's a great game, and it's a great program. College Game Day, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, live from Columbus, Ohio.